have some merch for the Rampage Charger project. So the front has the channel logo, the back has the Charger Rampage logo, and it says Rampage at the top. I really love the design, and it either comes in gray, or what I really love is black shirts with the white logo right there. And black shirts are really nice because they're really hard to get dirty when you're working on cars. So there is only 3 more days left until these are no longer available. Get them while they last. Link is in the description, and let's get back to working on the Charger. Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm pulling a bunch of parts out of the 2018 parts Charger. This morning I looked through all the parts on Dodge's website and kind of did a cross-reference so I could use certain parts from the SXT in the Hellcat wide body. So they're the same wiring harnesses, and some certain stuff is the same, so I could start bolting all that stuff in. But what I started to do today is, my friend's Pathfinder's been sitting here for a while, and I really don't like driving my truck in the yard because I'm always worried about getting a flat tire, which I haven't yet, luckily enough. But I turned his Pathfinder into a yard car now, so I'll have a car to drive around in the yard. But let's go down the yard and start pulling parts off of this Charger. Man, this is so nice, just driving instead of walking all the way down the 3rd yard. What I'm gonna do is actually pull the whole dash out of the car, and what I really need from this thing is I need the heater box, or the HVAC complete assembly. So that is the same SXT Hellcat Charger Hellcat Red Eye all the way up. I had some plugs in there, I guess they fell out, so I'll have to clean that out. But what else do I need out of this thing? I also need some wiring harnesses. I'll probably, when I pull this, I'll bring the headliner up because I need the headliner because I'll have to probably modify one. This one's the non-sunroof version. It's pretty decent. It's got rain on a few times now, but that should be fine. Also, I think I need some stuff over there. Supposedly, I'm not sure if it is on the non all-wheel drive versions, but it shows that there's an all-wheel drive module, so I want to check that out if it's there. Everything out of the Charger that I needed. So I have the dash in the back of my friend's Pathfinder, as well as I grabbed all the knickknacks. So I grabbed that cover that covers the firewall, and this one was a lot better than all the other ones I had. I also grabbed the brake pedal, the gas pedal, and just a bunch of other stuff. So I also pulled the front wiring harness, which I think the only difference between Hellcat ones and normal SXT Charger ones or Challenger ones, that the Hellcats have the electronic dampening. I'm not 100% sure on that, but really it doesn't look like there's more wires other than those that would go on the struts. So I'm gonna load this dash off of my truck with the rest of the stuff, and then we'll head home, throw all this stuff in the Charger, and I'll pull this dash cover off because this dash cover obviously has a blown airbag, but the rest of this stuff should be fine. Another thing that I'm gonna do is see if the Challenger dash pad will bolt to this frame. So like I said before, I was supposed to get my frame back, and I never did. The guy, well, I got it back, but he cut a big piece out of it, and you know, it was not usable anymore. So hopefully the frames are the same and I could bolt the Challenger dash to it. And then if that is the case, I will just go and order a 2020 dash pad, and then I won't have to buy a Challenger from the auction just for the frame and the dash pad. So, and then there's the wiring harness up there. So I'll probably mess with that a little bit and probably de-lume it. So my thoughts are to just make the engine bay 100% clean. We'll see if that ends up happening. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, let's get home, and then I'll probably end up stripping even more parts off this thing. I'm glad I have it because it just comes in handy to have parts cars. With the dashes for the Charger, I have the Challenger dash pad on the Charger dash frame, but it's not going to work. So there's one difference that's pretty major. I probably could modify it, but I'll just try to look for a either a complete Challenger dash or a dash frame. But this bracket right here on the Chargers is there, and on the Challengers it's not. This actually holds that vent tube, and the Challenger one is underneath. So everything else though bolts up, which is nice. I also was searching the part numbers. So I checked the body control module. That looks like it only works for 18s, but it works for every single model. So the car that this stuff came out of had pretty much every option. So it had the Uconnect with the navigation, with the cameras, with everything. So the wiring harness works with a Hellcat. The body control module works with a Hellcat. Over there, the two modules, those are pretty much just a gateway module, and then the amplifier works with 2021 red eyes, which is nice. And then I just pretty much need to get some other stuff, and also the antenna module works with the red eyes as well. So I'm probably gonna have to get a Challenger dash pad with a frame, maybe. We'll see what happens. I need to find one, and then I need to figure out, I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get the transfer case to be controlled with the Hellcat stuff. So usually, you know, Hellcats are rear wheel drive, but I was looking at the 2021 models, and if you look in the modules, so I was looking through all the modules and all the part numbers, and I see this module, I click on it, it says 2021 Charger Red Eye Hellcat all-wheel drive module. So I don't know if they're planning on making the next version of the Charger Hellcats all-wheel drive. I'm not sure how they plan on doing it, but there is a module. So I need to find the wiring schematic for that. So if anybody has the ability to get me the wiring schematic so I could see how that's wired in, because if I could use all Hellcat wiring and then just wire the transfer case into the Trackhawk transfer case, then I don't have to go and buy a Trackhawk and do all this crazy stuff, because Trackhawks are getting really expensive for some reason. I'm not exactly sure why a wrecked Trackhawk is going for $60,000 to $80,000 when you can pretty much buy a brand new one for like $85,000 to $90,000. So yeah, it's kind of disappointing. That's really one of the issues that's holding this project up, is used car prices kind of went crazy, and I'm not exactly sure why they did, especially wrecked stuff like that. But I did get the heater core. So I checked the cross-reference to part number. So this is out of the 18. I actually washed and cleaned it up. This works, gas pedal works, brake pedal works. So all this is good. We have the heater core, the AC core, and pretty much just need, oh, and then all those modules on this heater box work all the way up to 2021 Red Eye, which is nice. And what else did we get? Oh, that module right there. I think that's like I think that might be for like airbags or like a G meter or something, but that also works with the 2021 Red Eyes, which is nice. Stripped down everything I needed off the Charger dash frame. I'm going to take that stuff back to the junkyard. Pretty much both those dashes are just scrap, and then I'll keep the vents, and then the airbag stuff right there is scrap as well. But yes, the wiring harness right here will work with the Hellcat, and so will those body control modules. So like I said before, I need to figure out the wiring for the transfer case, and if I need a 2020 harness, and it just kind of depends where that goes, or if I need a Trackhawk harness, I don't know. So what I'm gonna do now is start polishing this thing and just kind of go from there, because it's gonna be a very, very long process. We'll see how far I get today. I feel like this is a really good stopping point. So what I ended up doing was wet sanding the whole driver's side of the car. So I started with 1,000 grit, worked my way all the way up to 8,000 grit. And right now in the back, you can see that it's dull, but it's still kind of shiny. So that's 8,000 grit. The front fender, I've already polished. Actually, I just compounded with the wool pad. I wasn't gonna use the wool pad since you sand with 8,000 grit and you could just, technically you're supposed to be able to go to straight polish, but that's not the case. I mean, you still have to compound it. There are still some scratches that you want to get out. And as you can see, we'll show you the difference between compounded and not. So look how clear the light is right there. And then we'll move to the hood. See how hazy it is, kinda? So that's pretty much factory orange peel. That's really, really close to factory orange peel on the hood, and the whole car was like that. So I really like how it's coming out with, you know, whenever you wet sand something and buff it, it just looks phenomenal. So the Hellcat, I did the same thing to the front. Well, just the front that I painted. You could tell the difference between the front and the back, not just because the paint doesn't match, but because it's a lot more smooth than the back of the car. And you know, the same thing with the Charger. So the original idea was to wet sand this, buff this, clear bra it, then put the flare on it, clear bra the flare. The issue I'm seeing with doing this, I try to put the flare on already, just like as a test, with a few clips that I can get. So it's very hard to remove the flare once it's on. The back ones, especially the front ones, aren't too crazy, but they're still difficult. But I don't think that's gonna be possible because that extra thickness of clear bra, I think it'll be too thick because I already have 4 layers of clear on the fenders that it'll be so hard to clip the flares into these holes right here. So on the Hellcat, the flares, they're really tight. I know that they're chafing the clear coat, but you don't see it. I mean, it's not really, you know, there's 4 coats of clear on here. It is what it is. I mean, there's no way around it. There's no rubber gasket that goes in between it. There's not much that I could do about it. I don't want to stick clear bra on this and then try to force the flare over it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to wet sand and buff the flares. And then I've already done the side skirts. They're already wet sanded and buffed. And I could stick the flares on, the side skirts, and just go ahead and throw everything on this thing. You know, after I buff the quarters, obviously, in the fender to, you know, a nice fine polish, I'll throw the flares on, and then I'll have it clear broad after. So I am talking with a company. They're trying to find a place locally to clear bra the car, but it seems like all the shops are like not interested in doing it because I feel like they're not interested because they tell them it's going to be on video, and they're like, well, you know, then our work has to be perfect. So hopefully once I get this buffed, I should have this whole thing wet sanded, buffed by the end of the week and put together. The plan is to have this wet sanded, buffed, and put together, everything done. So it's nice and shiny. It looks like a Charger, looks like a wide body. All the flares are on, all the side skirts. It'll still be a little bit high, but then I could take it down. Hopefully by the end of the week, once I'm done with this, I could take it down, have it clear broad, and then we could throw drivetrain in it. So, you know, I've been waiting for this whole clear broad situation. It's been 2 weeks. I've been talking with this company, and we'll just see what happens. I mean, I'm getting to the point where, you know, I really want this done. And at this point, you know, it is what it is. So we'll figure this out. I really like what happened with the bumper back here. So as you guys saw, I put rivnuts instead of rivets. And the reason I did that was because the rivets are kind of a pain. They're kind of expensive from Dodge. I had rivnuts. And then since I put rivnuts in this bracket back here, in this bracket that holds the bumper on, well, both brackets technically hold the bumper on, but now it gave it a little bit more of a gap all the way across. So I really like how it gave that little additional, it's just a little bit extra, because normally the Charger bumpers, how that bracket goes up, it just is smashed in there. But now it has like this nice little gap, and then all that extra work fitting the bumper, you can just see how nice it fits. And I don't have the tail light in there right now, but it just really looks good. And you can see how shiny that is, just an 8000 grit. I also put the seal, the weather strip seal for the Magnum in here. I had to cut it down a little bit, and then I have the Charger trunk interior, the rear trunk interior back here, and it's just coming together. I mean, it is a lot of work. Wet sanding and buffing is the one thing. One of the things that I hate the most about building cars and painting cars, other than, you know, the next thing would be prep work, but it is what it is. It has to happen, and I can't wait till it's all buffed and I can push it outside. Actually, I can't wait till I can drive it, but I can't wait to see it outside with everything on there, all the flares, which will be the end of the week, and I can't wait. So I'm gonna end the video here. If you like these videos, make sure to subscribe, thumbs up, throw a comment below. If you haven't got a shirt yet, there's only 3 more days to order one. So get your shirts, links in the description. As always, see you guys next time.